Hey TV fans, Board now back with you. On this video I will be talking about Yellowjackets Season 1 Episode 6. The episode is called Saints. Full spoilers just in case you've not seen this episode from the start of this review. This is a Lottie themed episode, and given how big a part she's likely to play in Season 2, it makes sense and we'll get a bit more depth on her character in this episode, and it's nicely fleshed out. So it starts with a flashback to her childhood, and it's the scene that reveals that she has some sort of psychic powers because she can see into the future. She's in the back of her parents' car and she can see that they're about to be killed. There's about to be a crash and she prevents this. So that's set up in the past. And the reason the episode is called Saints is because she goes to Laura Lee and starts talking about religion. That's in the future, in the 90s I should say, so in the middle timeline. She suddenly becomes very interested and is worried that she has sinned and she won't get into heaven. And Lottie's the sort of character you wouldn't necessarily think of being religious or wanting to be religious, but it just seems it's this thing of almost like just in case God exists, like maybe she just wants to make sure she would be a shoo-in to get in. So she goes to Laura Lee and they have some good scenes together, and what I like about this stuff is that it helps open up Laura Lee as a character as well. It makes her more likeable, like she's more than just kind of a preachy, self-righteous religious type, and she's not really that at all. Sure, she takes herself too seriously at times and she takes the religious stuff too seriously at times, but it's shown in this episode the way she opens up to Lottie, then she isn't some sort of snob and she's not preachy. So you get the scene with her and Lottie and the christening. She christens Lottie. And it's a nice scene between those two. So it's good them two characters who have been a bit on the fringe of things, we've just got little bits here and there, actually get to open up and see a bit more of their characters this episode. So there's some nice scenes. Now, in the present, in 2021, we learn it's the anniversary of them coming back from the island, or from the wilderness, I should say, and it's Jackie's birthday, so this has led to Shona and Jeff meeting up with Jackie's parents, and at this point it's still not been revealed what's happened to Jackie in the past, although the fact that she hasn't appeared in adult form might lead you to think that it's something not good. But this is clearly a tradition, and then they meet up with the parents for Jackie's birthday, and you get like long running scenes in this house throughout the episode where like Shona is just very awkward and uncomfortable, and she starts once again rebelling. She starts like revealing secrets about her and Jackie to the parents, like really awkward stuff, and sort of just putting it in their faces. And it's sort of weird because although the parents, like, they're not total assholes, they're not complete jerks to Shona, they do seem very sort of snobby and like in their own way. They don't come out and directly say it, but they are comparing Shona to Jackie, which obviously isn't very nice. It's not very fair. And you get some scenes with Shona around the house where she just disappears and goes to Jackie's room, and we see her reading the diary from the past, so passages about her and Jeff. And this is the point where the vision of young Jackie starts appearing to Shona and they start talking, and it's almost very cathartic for Shona, but also it's bringing up certain memories, and this is going to become a long-running thing where like the ghost of Jackie haunts Shona for a lot of the season anyway. But when they go back down later and Shona rejoins them, Jeff finally stands up for Shona. This is definitely Jeff's best scene in the whole show, because he speaks up for her and just points out how smart she is, how independent she is, what a great mum she is, and just then she doesn't have to take a backseat to anybody, any woman, I think is the way he phrases it. So yeah, it's a pretty kick-ass moment for Jeff. It's absolutely great. And this stuff in the present is mirrored in the past, in the wilderness, with Jackie once again rubbing others up the wrong way, because in this episode Natalie and Travis get more intimate. Now, I've got a theory that Travis might have been secretly gay, because he does have trouble performing, or he seems a bit anxious when him and Jackie get intimate and they start like having sex, and he can't quite go through with it. Now, it could just be because he's inexperienced, and it could be like a very masculine thing, because he's definitely suggested that he's had sexual experiences where he probably hasn't. But I did sort of read it as maybe he was secretly gay, and this was a bit of a front. But anyway, when they come back, Jackie starts mouthing off, like she starts having a go at Jackie for like disappearing at a crucial moment and sneaking off with Travis, and she just says the wrong things and is like really malicious about it. So Jackie stands up to her, and you get a big set to between them. She also pisses off like Teresa, because Teresa is really taking over as leader of the group, so she stands up to Jackie as well. And once again, it's just striking how in this new setting and with like roles changing, how Jackie is having less and less power, because definitely her and Taissa were the big leaders back home, and Jackie's role as leader has really slipped. But this was probably the weakest part of the episode, just because it did feel like forced drama. Like, it didn't really feel like there was that much of a reason to do this stuff. It's just a little bit more tension between them in the wilderness, but it's not really something you needed. Like, I don't think it really served that much of a purpose. So, probably if I ever complain about the episode, it is this stuff. And it's certain stuff that's just maybe some stuff could have been lost, because there's stuff in the present where Shona meets with Jackie and Taissa, and they're discussing the whole thing, and can we trust Misty, and she reveals that she didn't get a postcard unlike them, and that's something to maybe keep an eye on, because you know it's possible that then that could make like Shona a suspect moving forward. But that scene, for example, although I definitely enjoy it, and I enjoy the dynamic between the three characters, some of that could have been trimmed out. I'm not saying lose the scene altogether, but maybe some of it could have been lost. But it's a strong episode overall, and I'll end up speaking about Taissa, because both 90s Taissa and 21 Taissa has a big part to play. So in the wilderness, she stands up and is willing to, because Shona decides and she wants the abortion. She reveals then it's Jeff's baby, and she just can't go through with it. There's actually a really harrowing nightmare sequence that Shona has when she imagines like Misty, and is it Misty and Natalie or Misty and Jackie, so something like that. I think it might be Jackie, but yeah, then they deliver the babies, and that's enough to make her mind up for her, then she wants the abortion. But of course they're out in the wilderness, so there's only one way to do it, and it's that really nasty looking thing with the needle. And Shona runs off and is just going to do it herself on her own, but Taissa follows her out and insists, I'll do this for you. Once again, I find their bond, their connection, and the way it's sort of developed out in the wilderness really moving and touching. And she's about to do it, she's about to go through with it, and Shona like, no, I can't do this, I can't go through it. And that's it. Taissa's not not forceful of it, not saying, come on, you've got to go through with this. She understands it, and that's great stuff. And then in the present, things come to a head with Taissa and with Saki, with her son Sammy, because Sammy's therapist suggests that then he's like repressing memories and that he's maybe acting out certain memories, and there's something wrong anyway. That's the suggestion. Yeah, he's almost living what they're accusing him of, so he's almost playing up to that stuff. So, but the twist in the episode is then it's actually, the way I read it, there's a couple of different ways to read this, as I've said before, but then Taissa has been sleepwalking like she did in the past. So it's shown in this episode because Lottie finds her in the past like sleepwalking and out in the middle of the night, and she's actually like, eating dirt off the ground, and that's in the past, and that's how we end this episode with Taissa in the present. So it definitely implies that she sleptwalk and has set, obviously not intentionally set her son up, but she's been doing it, like sleepwalking Taissa. So she painted the word saint on the, not saint, sorry, that's the name of Spill, on their door in the previous episode, and so that definitely confirms that it was Taissa for me, because as I said, we end off with her in the episode and she's gone outside sleepwalking and is eating dirt once again. So really chilling stuff with Taissa, and it makes you wonder what else she could be capable of, and what she might have done in the past. It obviously adds a lot of meat on the bones of what Taissa's role in this could be in the past. So that's episode 6 of Yellowjackets. My thoughts overall, another strong episode. Not my favourite of the season. I think that would still be episode 3, but there's probably going to be at least one episode which will be episode 3, which I'll get to soon. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Like and subscribe as always, and share me out on social media, and I'll be back soon with more Yellowjackets. I'm going to get up to date for season 1 ahead of season 2, which starts this week, and I will also be another current show. I'll be covering season 4 of Succession, the final season of Succession, so look out for me reviewing that from season 4. But thanks for listening, guys. I'll see you again soon.